D, wait for it, delightful.
Check out the name tag. You're in my world now, Grandma.
What's up, nerds? So I just finished the latest episode of Moon Knight. And I have to tell you right now, it's not that it was a bad episode. It just wasn't like, it was kind of boring. Like, I'm not going to lie. Sorry, my hair's all over the place. I'm about to go get a haircut, but it was just kind of boring. Like, and I have to tell you right now, out of Marc and Steven, I don't like Steven. The first episode, I thought the first episode was good. But I always, and that's the problem with these Marvel shows is I like them at the beginning, except for WandaVision. WandaVision, I did not like at the beginning because it had the black and white thing. And anyways, that's besides the point. That has nothing to do with this. But I usually like them at the beginning. And as they progress, I just hate them. I hate them because they're so stupid. But this one, this episode, first episode, I liked it. You can go check out my review or whatever, but this episode I thought it was boring. I mean, Steven I'm sorry, is such an unlikable person in my opinion. I mean, he's such a pussy. Oh my goodness. And this is coming from a very effeminate man, but he is just so like and everything. And I don't like this show's portrayal of mental illness and multiple personalities because it's very like movie / comic booky in the sense that they just think that when you have multiple personality, and I'm not a doctor, I'm just saying, if you go online and you watch videos of people with actual multiple personalities, it's not a switch you can just flip on and on. They just don't go back and forth. Like I remember Tila Tequila was all like, oh, I have multiple personalities. And she would just be like, she would just flip her head and then she turned into her different personality. I'm like, that's not how that works. Okay. And you can't just, I mean, I know this show is doing it, because that's how, they're doing or whatever. And because you can't do it like real, because then it would just take too much time, but it's just it's so ridiculous. But anyways, I also love how TikTok, how all of a sudden there's just like, there's all these people with systems all of a sudden. Anyways. But this show, okay. So besides the last like 5 minutes, the rest of the episode, I mean, there was a little bit of information, but most of the part, I thought it was really boring. I'm all like, okay, and everything. I liked Steven screaming like a girl. But other than that, I was like, we got a tiny bit of information, but other than that, and like a pretty decent fight scene. But other than that, I'm all like, it's boring. It's boring. Like, come on. So yeah, I'll break this sucker down and everything. I just, I wanted better, like do better. But you need to do better, Senator. But this show, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. I don't know. I'm going to try to do my Morbius review. I liked that. It wasn't the greatest, but it was good. It was fun. This is not fun for me, this show. Yeah, that's all I got to say right now. Let's break this sucker down. But before I get started on the breakdown, I just want to say that if you like what I do here and you enjoy independent content here on YouTube, please consider subscribing to my channel. YouTube is always changing up their algorithm, you guys, and small channels like mine, we always get shoved right to the back of the line, it sucks. So I please ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and I thank you in advance. So now that I've said that, why don't we go ahead and get started on this breakdown? So it starts off with you hear these sands of time and everything. You hear like voiceover and stuff. And then Steven wakes up and he's like, and everything. And he, the thing grabs him and he falls over and everything. And because he forgets to untie his ankle. And he goes in the mirror. He's like, hey, Marc, come out. I want to talk to you. What are you doing, Marc? What are you doing? I recently did an episode of on another channel, and we talked about Moon Knight, and they're all one's Scottish, one was Scottish, and they're all British, and I was just like, and they're all like, and I see online a lot of British people are all like, because he talks like this and everything. He's got a Cockney accent, which I'm like, I'm American, I don't know the difference, I mean. Some of them are like, how you doing today? And then some of them are like, hello, love, and everything. So and me personally, I'm just like, I don't know the difference. So, it's like, It's like he could come on the screen and be like, "Hello, governor," and I'd be like, "Okay, he's British. He's British." So, but he's all like, he's like talking to himself, but he goes to work, and at first I thought it was just not gonna play. I thought he was still going to have a job. He gets sacked. I love how the British have different words. We call getting fired here in America. So sorry, I'm drinking coffee because it's like early for me. Because for me, this episode drops at 3 a.m. Who's got time to get up at that? Although I was up at 6 because I've got children. Anyways, so he goes to the thing and he's freaking out because he's like, what happened? He's like, oh, the loo. He doesn't say the loo though. I think he says the bathroom, but he's like they said a pipe burst, but I don't buy it. And he's like, have you looked at the security footage? And he's like, I was about to spout to you. He's like, listen, what I have to tell you is what you're going to see is like some crazy stuff, like some Area 51 kind of stuff. And it's very interesting that they brought up Area 51. I'm very curious. Do the British even like care about that kind of stuff like here in America, or is that just an American thing? Anyways. So they go and they look and they see him, but they only see him. They don't see the jackal chasing him. They just see him running and everything. He's like, what did you do, Scotty? And it's like, it's still Steven. And he's all like, and then he comes out and he's like, that's you. And he's like, that's not me. And I'm like, oh, that's not him. That's Marc. That's Marc. And I like Marc. I like Marc way better than Steven because Steven is annoying. But anyway, so he's in the HR department's office. Who hasn't been there? Am I right? And he's all like, well, listen, the good news is we're not going to press charges. This HR guy. Adorable. We're not going to press charges, but obviously you're sacked and everything. And so then, but they give him a pamphlet to a doctor's office, psychiatric, which I think he's going to end up there at some point in time. I'm pretty sure Steven will take back over and then they'll end up there because we saw it in the trailer. He's like got a straight jacket on. He's like, in a little cell or whatnot. Maybe that's the end. Who knows? So then he's sitting here and he's like, do you have anything that belongs to the museum? And he's like, I haven't nicked anything. And then he's like, your badge kind of thing. He's like, oh, and he has to give up his name and everything. And when he put the badge on there, I was like, oh, is that symbolism for like he's going to have to give up Steven? And I was like, give up Steven because Steven sucks. So then he's sitting here talking to, and this guy's name, and he's from the comics, but I don't know Moon Knight. I ordered some Moon Knight comic books so I could better know this character, but I think it's a little too late for me because I don't care because of this show. But at the same time, I love comic books, so I'll probably like the comic book Moon Knight, not this one. But he's talking to him and he's all like, he's talking about how he's like, I got nicked and everything, but he's like, am I going crazy kind of thing? He's like, but I don't know, and all this stuff. And he's like, but I need to do it. I need to find out the locker for that key. Because if you remember in the cubby hole, he found the key. And he's like, thank you. And I love how this is where he gets, he's like, the crazy guy is hugging me. Like, get off me, you freaking weirdo. So he goes and he finds the place where he's like, hey, I have a locker. Maybe it's under Steven or maybe just Marc. And he's like, yo, dude, I know you. And he's like, number 43. So he takes him to the locker. And he goes in and he's got a whole little bunker set up and he's got a cot and everything. And all these little toads. Sorry. I'm yawning because the show's boring. So he opens up this bag and he finds a gun, some money, a passport that says Marc Spector on it. And he also finds the scarab. And he's like, oh, it's like a compass. And so I'll tell you right now because it comes up later. This is a compass to Amet's tomb, to her tomb and everything, because she was betrayed by the gods and everything, and they tore her apart or whatnot, and they buried her apparently. And we'll find out what that whole thing is about in a little bit. But I just go, Amet doesn't sound like fun. Okay. And I don't think that I didn't like research it before I did this, but and I said this on my last episode, and I don't know about you, but when I was, I'd say in a little bit, I would say before middle school, like, I was like, I loved Egyptian mythology. And I mentioned this in the last episode also. I think Rick Riordan, if you ever read his books, he does Greek mythology mostly and Roman mythology, but he does a trilogy book, 3 books where he talks about Egyptian mythology. And I think he does a pretty good job of relating that to kids these days. But anyway, so Egyptian mythology, I thought Amet, like, she didn't just destroy, you as a, like, tear you apart as a person after you died or whatnot. I thought that she would listen to you, like, you got a chance to defend yourself, but that's shown out. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I don't know. You tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. I thought you got a chance to defend yourself, but like, you got it. But anyway, so he sees Marc in the mirror and everything. And Marc's all like, listen, this is what he's like, listen, you don't understand. You don't know what's going on. He's like, you need to lay down and take a nap. And when you wake up, all this will be taken care of. And he's like, I'm not going to do it. And he's like, listen, he's like, you need to explain everything to me right now. And he's like, listen, I am the avatar for Khonshu. He's like, Khonshu, the god of the moon. And he's like, yes. And he's like, I am his avatar. And he's like, and I deliver justice to those who have been, hurt or whatnot, or been wronged or whatnot. And what's that say? I don't know anything about guns. So he's like, I'm going to take this bag. I'm going to take it to the authorities and I'm done with you, you naughty Marc. He leaves this little bunker and he's trying to run through here, but Khonshu shows up. And I like Khonshu when Khonshu shows up. He's got a cool look. I do like the whole Egyptian gods thing. I wish they would show more of them. Apparently, yeah, they're not going to, but whatever. So Khonshu is all like, welcome back. And he's like, ah! And they do a little freeze frame on this one. I thought that was pretty decent, like fun kind of thing. Sorry, I'm trying to get pumped for this episode. Pumped! Anyways, so he runs out and he falls, and then Layla shows up and she's like, Marc, is that you? She doesn't have a British accent. She's like, Marc, is that you? And everything. And she's all like, what did you do? And she's like, I haven't heard from you. And he's like, how did you find me? And she's like, I tracked your phone. You turned it on. And I thought that's what you wanted me to do because you turned it on and everything. And then I thought you were talking in code when I talked to you last time. And she's like, you can drop the accent, Marc. And she's like, I'm your wife. And he's like, you're my wife. And he's like, I need to take you back to my flat so I can explain stuff. So he takes him back to his apartment. That's what we call it here in America. You British folk are fun. And so she's like, and this right here is Marc. And he's like, you shouldn't have brought her here. Steven, you got to get rid of her. He's all like, listen, I'm Steven. I don't know who Marc is. And she picks up this book and she's like, and they're and everything, because they're talking French and everything. French is a beautiful language, but poetry, I'm not into that crap at all. I don't understand it. She's like, that's my favorite French poet. And she's like, it's my favorite French poet and everything. And I'm just like, I don't like poetry, so I don't understand it. I don't get it. Yeah. So I'm all like it's the same thing as haikus. Like I don't understand haikus. It's like the haiku of my life. I am so tired. Where did all my money go? My back is hurting. Anyways, okay, so he's all like, he's sitting there and they're talking about like Egyptian stuff. Like she's like, you read hieroglyphs, and she's like something about burial rites, and it sounds like they're going to be doing something with burial stuff. I watched some reviews and stuff because the press got the first 4 episodes, not like us little plebs. So we got to watch it episode by episode. But I guess burial rites do come up and everything. And he did mention, and you can kind of see that because we mentioned the tomb of Mehmet. And then in the first episode, if you remember, he told that little girl about how they pull out all your insides through your nose. And then, they mentioned burial rites here. So obviously burial stuff is going on because they're going to dig up Mehmet, which I think there's something else going on with that, but we'll see. Let's just see what's going down. So anyways, so then she's all like, I came to bring you this and everything. And they're divorce papers because he wants a divorce. And he's all like, listen, and then he's like, I have something to show you or whatever. And he's like, do not show her. He's like, do not show her. If you show her, you're putting her in danger. They'll know that she knows she cannot see that scarab. But she gets in the bag anyways, and she sees the scarab, and she's all like, this is what you've seen this is what we've been searching for this entire time, and you found it, and now yada yada yada. He's like, you can have it and everything. And they get a knock on the door, And it's these two detectives, and they're all like, basically like, can we come in? And he's like, no. And they're like, are you alone and everything? So she's all like, what's going on here? And he's like, I have sleeping issues. Oh, and boy, does he have some sleeping issues. So then she goes to look out the window, and what's her face has gone out on the ledge, maybe for reals on the ledge of life. And they're all like, they find the Marc Spector passport, and they're all like, and they're like, you stole something, so we got to take you in and everything. So then while they're in the car driving, she's like, Marc Spector, you're a mercenary, and you killed some archaeologist in Egypt, and you're a bad dude. And he's like, I thought we were going to the police station. They're like, is that what you thought? And so all these people, you can't really see, I didn't get a good one, but she's got the little tattoo here. And he's like, listen, you need to let me out. He's like, you need to let me take control right now. I need to take control of our body. They are going to kill you. So he lets him out and he unhandcuffs him. And it's, what is his name? Harrow. It's Stephen Hawke. So he's all like, listen, he's all like, you see, it says, and Khonshu shows up, and he's like, you're the Avatar. He's like, I was wondering why I couldn't judge you, because there's more than one of you in there. And it's like, and you're the Avatar for Khonshu. And he's like, is he here? He's here, isn't he? He's like, listen, he's like, don't worry, he can't do anything to you, and he's like, I don't have the pleasure of seeing him anymore. And when he said that, I was all like, I wonder what that means. We find out later he was the Avatar for Khonshu at one point. So he's like, this neighborhood used to be the worst neighborhood in London. He's like, but now the people can sleep with their doors unlocked. Sorry, I kind of blanked there for a minute. Maybe I'm Marc. Anyways, so so then he's talking about this stuff, and he's all like, how they built up this community. Their goal is to learn 3 languages and everything, yada, yada, yada. So goes in here, and this is where we saw what we saw from the last episode at the very beginning. And this is their little I don't know, sanctuary or whatever. And so he's all like, you're a vegan. He's like, yeah. And he's like, me too. Try the lentil soup. I made it this morning from, Carlos's recipe. He's like, gracias, Carlos, or whatever. And so he's there, he's talking to him, and Khonshu like throws his thing. He's like, that's all he can do. He can just throw his little hissy fits and everything. He can't do anything else and everything. He needs an avatar like you to do anything. So he sits down. And he's like, and he's all like, I am the righteous justice or whatever like that. And he's like, what is he saying right now? I am the righteous justice. He's like, can you hear him? And he's like, no. And then he tells him, he's like, I used to be the avatar for Khonshu. And he's like, listen, what did he tell you? This was the last mission. It's never the last mission. There's always another mission. And he's like, Khonshu delivers justice after there's been victims. The people get hurt by these bad people, and that's when Khonshu delivers justice. Amet delivers justice before there's victims. Okay. And that is why it's crucial that I get that scarab back, because that scarab leads to Amet's tomb. And it's a compass to his tomb. He's like, where is it? And he's like, I don't know. And everything. And Marc is all like, listen, do not say Layla's name, because he's talking to him through the bowl of the bread. That bread looks delicious, by the way. Remember what bread tasted like? Wasn't it delicious at one point in time? I eat bread. I just not very much. Anyways. And so he's like, don't say Layla's name, because if they know Layla has the scarab, or that she's seen the scarab, she's in danger. You can't tell them. Cannot tell them. And he's like, let me take over. And then he's like, can I talk to Marc? And then he's all like, but he goes, listen, he's like, so what's going to happen is, and I'm paraphrasing because I didn't write it down, because that's the thing. Like, this was the most information we got about, this guy's end goal. And then also we pretty much knew his end goal. And then, we got a cool fight scene. There's a little information kind of cool fight scene, and then we were done. So then he's all like, I want to bring back Met, and then she is going to kill everybody. She's going to judge everybody that's bad, and everybody that's good will be left alive, and it'll be heaven on earth. And he's like, don't you want to be a part of that and everything? And he's all like, yeah, but what if, what about kids? What if it's a child that's going to do something bad in like 30 years? You're okay with killing kids? And he's like, that's, he's like, that's the thing. He's like, that's interesting that you bring that up. Let's say you have a disease infested limb. Amputation, even though it's brutal and it's traumatizing, it's necessary to save the body. And he's like, yeah, but you're killing kids. I'm sorry, I'll draw the line at kid killing and everything. And so he goes, you know what this is? And he's like, yeah, it's a staff. Duh. He's like, Amet put a sliver of her power inside this staff. And when he pulled it up, everybody backed off and everything. And I'm like, oh, backing off. And it started glowing purple. And he's like, listen, I don't know where the scarab is, which is true. Technically, he doesn't know where the scarab is. He's technically telling the truth. He knows who has it, but he didn't ask him who has it. He asked him, where is it? And so he's all like, and if I unleash this power, you're screwed, buckaroo, kind of thing. And then Layla shows up. She's like, oh, I have a scarab and everything. And she's all like something or other. So they run away. They start to run, and he slams it down and opens up some cracks in the floor, some purple cracks. And they start to run and everything, but they fight off this dude. And he's like, Shama. And they go inside here. He's like, oh, I'm gonna die inside a warehouse in Soho. And she's like, you need to release the suit. She's like, you need to get the suit out and everything. He's all like, I don't know how and everything. And in pops this jackal. And he's like, Jackal. And she's like, Jackal. She can't see the jackal. Only he can. So then the jackal runs at him and he knocks him out this thing. And he's like, and then you hear Khonshu go, release the suit. And he's like, release the suit. And he hits this thing and then he lands, superhero land. And then he falls over. And he's got on this suit and he's all like, I look really dashing. And it's Steven inside this little suit. And this is where he got like super really annoying. Steven's an annoying dude. I don't like him at all. Like, I'm all like, oh, Steven, I couldn't be your friend. I just couldn't do it. And he pulls out these little sticks that he doesn't use. And then he gets hit by the jackal and into the street and everything. And he's fighting. And this is the thing. This is where it comes in. Cause it's just like a lot of, and everything. And the whole time I'm just like, sheep and everything. It's kind of, and everything. So these two are fighting this invisible jackal like that. He's just like, and everything. And I'm just like, what's going on here? What's going on? So anyways, and then finally he's all like, oh, you want to fight jackal? Let's go. Fly like a butterfly, sting like a bee and everything. And he punches it and he's like, yeah, I punched it. And then he hits it in the road. They get hit by a car. And then Marc's all like, listen, dude, just let me take over. All right. It was a good punch, but you're playing punchy punch when you need to let me out so you can take this sucker down. It's like, fine, just this once. And so he takes over. And you can see the suit right there, but it starts to take him over. I love how it looks like a mummy right there. Very cool. And it takes him over. And then he's sitting there. And then the jackal's all, and she's like, take it out of here. And because he's all like, ka-shing, ka-shing, and everything. And then he runs. And then the jackal starts following and starts climbing up this little roof. And he's doing some parkour. I didn't say that right. Hardcore parkour across the rooftops, which was this part where he turns into actual Moon Knight, not the one where he was whatever the suited dude is. I don't remember what he's called. I think he has a specific name, but where he's Moon Knight running across it. This is the part that was cool, fight sequence wise. The rest of it was all like cheap and not fun. I didn't like it. And then he's running. Jumping across this thing. We saw it in the trailer. It's all cool. This part is cool. but it's short, and that's cool English. But I'm just like the whole time I'm just like anyways. So he's running. He's like, come on. So they jump off here. He stabs him with his little moon-shaped knives. They roll across the thing, and then he oh, that's cool too. And he slams him on this thing and impales him and everything. And he's like, ooh, and everything. And then he turns to sand. Yeah. And then the thing falls down. He grabs it, and he's like, oh, I am vengeance. And then he turns back to Marc. So then, and then he's like, the scarab, where's this? He's like, no. And then the scarab, this homeless man finds it. And Ethan Hawke is all like, listen, I can't. He's like, I can give you food, clothing, shelter. He's like, but I can't let you have this. She's witnessing this whole thing. So then he grabs his hand, and he's like, I wish you could be a part of the world that we're going to build. And he kills him. So I don't think that he needs to judge someone to kill them. I think he can automatically kill them. Like that's like, I don't know if that's a power that he has, and he's just using this Met thing to get what he wants kind of thing. And he has the power to kill you on command or whatever. But I don't think he needs to have a Met judge you with his little cane going back and forth. I don't think he has to do that. He just does that because it's fun and everything. And a small piece of me wonders, like a theory wise, is that he's not bringing a Met back to life so then she can judge. And because that's the thing in Egyptian mythology, I could have swore it's like if you were found guilty or whatever it is, you still had the opportunity to defend yourself, like on trial kind of thing. Before you die, before a Met kills you for the final second death, the second true death, or the true death, or something like that. It's like you die and then you get another death if you don't go to like heaven or whatever, because they weigh your death with a feather or something like that. I can't remember. It's like there's a scale and they put a feather on it, and if you're found like a bad person, then you face the second death or whatever. Anyways, I think that he's going to bring back a Met, the crocodile goddess lady, to control her to do heaven on earth. Like he's going to kill who he doesn't want on the planet. And it has nothing to do whether you're a bad person or not. It's just he wants to control a Met so he can, do bad things. He's naughty. So she sees the whole thing. He sees that she sees the whole thing, and she gets out of there because I think his whole thing is a scam because, cults and everything. So he's all like, and then Steven's all like, where am I? This is the worst feeling ever. And he's like, you'll be fine. You'll just breathe through it and everything. And he's all like, you did this. You've ruined everything. He's like, I'm never gonna. Sorry. Oh, he's all like, something. He's like, you ruined every part of my life, or whatever. And then Marc starts hitting the mirror and everything. And then Khonshu shows up, and he's like, because Khonshu saved him. Because in the comic books, from what I understand, and I'm not an expert, I literally just read like some synopses, and then I watched one of those videos on YouTube before this show, way before this show came out. It was like I'll say a Mojo origin of Moon Knight thing. Don't quote me on that. I can't remember. But he was left for dead in Egypt because he was a mercenary, and they broke into a tomb. And he was left for dead by the other mercenaries or something like that. And Khonshu saved him. But he's like, I'll save your life, but you need to be my avatar. And that's what happened. That's why he's his avatar. And so he's like, he's Khonshu's avatar. And he told Layla he wanted a divorce from Layla because he still loves her, but Khonshu wants her as his next avatar. Like that's his predecessor, Marc's predecessor. And he's all like, oh, you're going to do what I want, Marc, because you know who's up next and everything. And he's all like, Layla, that sweet Layla, I'm going to get her under my spell with my weird skull face and everything. And so he's like, get ready for your next mission. He's like, where are we going? He's like, where do you think? And then, and everything. And they show up in Egypt, they're in Egypt, but you see Marc right here. This is Steven in the mirror, because Marc is then on the floor drinking. which I wonder what he's drinking. Delicious, and everything. But he gets up and then he pulls back the drapes, and it's Egypt with the pyramids. Yay. Now, I like Egypt. It's beautiful. I know it's like all sandy and everything, and there's like not much to, but I just watched Death on the Nile, and I'm all like, Egypt is really, really pretty. It really is. It's it's a lot of sand and everything. But like, even just the sand, just the very like beige and kind of like these monotone colors, it's still really pretty. Sorry about that. It's lunchtime. Well, gotta get ready for lunch. But it's really pretty, and I like it a lot. And I love these pyramids. I love the pyramids. They're so great. But yeah, and that's where it ends. That's where the episode ends. Now, I just want to say, I'm trying to do some more research on Egyptian mythology because I don't remember all of it. I should do more. I should study up on a Met. And then I did see some, and I do think that that the burial thing has a big thing to do with it because they've mentioned it in both episodes, burial stuff. With the like I said before, with the taking of the thing and everything. But I'm just curious as to see, like, I'm gonna watch this show because that's what I do here. But this episode was kind of boring. Like, I don't like Steven, so he can go to the meeting of the system. And I like Marc because he's a go-getter. And Layla's okay, but I knew this because I have a feeling, this is my feeling, and you can tell me if you think I'm wrong, but I have a feeling that Layla is going to be Moon Knight at the end of this. Like, I feel like Marc is going to either die or Marc is going to be like, I'm going to give the system over to Steven. I'm just going to give it over to Steven because Steven had a good life. And Marc's going to go away into the deep or whatever it was called. What did they call it in that Jordan Peele movie? I can't remember. But he's going to go away, and then Steven's going to take over, but then Layla's going to be Moon Knight. That's what they're going to do at the end of this. And I just go, why would you do that? Like, nobody's interested in that except maybe one or two people. No, but I'm not interested in that. I don't Layla, like, I don't know this woman, this actress. I have nothing against her, but I want to see Moon Knight, not Moon Knightus, whatever the female version of it's called, of Moon Knight. But yeah, I just this episode was kind of boring. We got a little bit of information as far as like the whole Amet thing, and we know that the scarab is a compass, and that we knew Steven and Marc, before this, that Marc was the fighter and Steven was, the pussy boy. Yeah, we found out Layla was married to him, and then we found out, Khonshu, a little bit about Khonshu, and then we got that small fun fight scene where Moon Knight showed up and he's like parkouring. That was the fun part. The rest of it was all stupid, in my opinion. All right, that is my breakdown and review of this episode, you guys. Tell me what you guys thought about this episode. Did you like this episode? Did you not like this episode? Are you like me? You thought it was a little boring, or did you think it was awesome? If you thought it was awesome, tell me why. I do want to know. I'm very interested in that, and everything. I just didn't. I thought it was kind of boring. All right, that's all I got for you. I'm gonna go now because I've said pretty much the same thing like 4 times now. But tell me, guys, what you guys thought about this. Go ahead and leave all your comments in that section down below. If you like this video, go and hit that like button. I won't mind. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. I'd greatly appreciate it. I will see you guys next week on my breakdown and review of Moon Knight. You guys have a good week. Bye.